Hey guys, welcome to your Leo reading. It's my pleasure to connect for you, as you know. And as you also know, these readings are timeless and signless, so you don't have to be watching at the time that I'm making this video, and you don't have to have any significant Leo placements in your natal chart for the messages to be for you. I'm a pure channel, or clear channel. It's interesting. They had me say that, and I could even get it right there. Pure/clear channel, so whatever information is coming through for you is going to come through regardless of your placements, okay? If you'd like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where to find me at the Etsy link on this page that you're viewing. And if something doesn't resonate, I would invite you to take a step back, come back in a few hours or maybe a few days, and see if you can recognize the energies at that time, okay? So let's jump right in. Immediately, you notice I did this to get a better look at it because I just saw boop like that, and I've just sworn I saw another card here, and it was the initiates card. So this is telling me right now that we're getting another call for initiates. Interestingly, if this message is for you about the initiates that are being called right now, or notified, or just whatever you'd like to say, I'm getting that this group would be, for lack of a better word, special ops. I don't know what your mission would be. God bless you. But that's for the realm of a personal reading. But I'm getting it's a special ops call. So they're saying something about cooking right now. So somebody out there may be cooking as you're listening to this, or just whatever's going on. That may be, or there may be some type of connection that's to help you get an idea. Another word I'm getting that's similar is cookie. So cookie, like whatever that means, if it's the name of a cute little pet, if it's the name of an actual food like cookies, or computer stuff, or just whatever that is. If it means something to you, that message is for you as well. I just got the word shoelace. That's for somebody else. I'm getting there about 14 people that this message about the initiates being special ops, and those people are being okay, interesting. I was going to say those people are being targeted right now. So I was going to say, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say being contacted right now. But the message is, if that is for you, then maybe you should consider what they mean when they say that those people are being targeted right now. So I'm just going to leave that as it is, unless you guys want to add any. They're interesting. They're like now 4 months, okay? So whoever you are, in 4 months, you gotta be ready to go, is exactly what they're saying. You've got to be ready to go. So that means whatever it needs to mean for you, whoever it is that's listening. And of course, if you'd like to connect with that message a little bit more, especially about the targeted part, then you know exactly where to find me on my Etsy page. What else? Is there anything else for that group? And they're also saying 6 weeks of diaspora left. That seems to make no sense to us if this message isn't for you, but it means something for whoever you need to. It may or may not have to do with a cleanup call, cleaning up ley lines or cleaning up energies across a certain area of land pertaining to a certain energetic, let's say, epicenter. It could be a cultural epicenter. When we think about diaspora, we think about like a race or a culture or a group of people, even nationalities that are spread out around the world. But of course, you know that we're having this 3D conversation with conscious minds, but it's a multi-dimensional conversation. So, and they're mentioning that it's almost like if the message isn't for you, not to say don't even try to make it mean anything, because it's encrypted and it's coded and encrypted in whatever way it needs to be. So we'll just leave it at that. I keep saying we'll leave it at that, and then they add more. So let me see if there's any. And they're saying, so they're saying, so whoever is giving the message at this point of the reading, they're saying the music is on. So whatever that is, they're referring to it being as some type of jamming, signal jamming system. So we understand like EMPs that would like blow out like electrical things all over the place. And we also have tech. I'm not really a tech person, but we also have tech that can jam systems so that messages can get through without it being noticed or just whatnot. So they're saying that's happening. So anything else along? Whoever the shoelaces reference is for, you have to have more training in something. So there's going to be training put aside for you. Also, money put aside for you to have the training. So remember, when spirit wants us to do something, if nature supports it, nothing, things like money or access and things like that, knowing people, all of that, right, paperwork, it doesn't mean anything. You'll get to where you need to get. So when they said you'll have the money for it, it's going to come to you in some way, whatever it is that you need to do, if it's a training class or whatnot. And I'm getting another symbol for somebody here. Bumblebee is for somebody. And that's interesting that I had to say the word bumble with it. So I'm going to give you, because I was thinking, oh, bee, we just say bees, unless someone really wants to say bumblebee. And then there was a little bit of a reference to the bumble part. So they're saying that somebody here may, and there's a duck, like I just saw a duck foot, cute webbed duck foot, that's connected to this message. So I'm going to just translate a little bit and say that if that message is for you about the bumblebee, you're going to come into contact with somebody who's going to give you a certain message that you need to hear. It may or may not be the most pleasant situation. So sometimes we get into relationships, or we get into jobs, or we get very mundane looking 3D things happen for us in our life that may or may not seem cool, like, yeah, congratulations, this and that, but it's never about the job. It's so that you can be in the same, so you can make a connection with whatever person is supposed to, from a non-physical level, give you some handoff, drop off something. It's like work on another level. But down here it just looks like, oh, you just met this guy on Bumble and now you dated for about 3 months, and as far as you're concerned, you're glad he's gone because he's a jerk. But actually it was meant to be, because it was an energetic exchange meant to be about paperwork in the non-physical. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get it too confused, but just energetic exchange. If you know, you know. Okay? If you know, you know. So I'm just going to say that it's multi-dimensional work. And if you tune into my channel or you feel called to my work, you may come because you want to know your past life, or you want to know about your details about a relationship, or you have stuff going on with your family, or you want help with your work or your employment. We do all that as well. We do everything here on this channel, but I want you first and foremost to remember that this stuff is for those who have service contracts. And so it's very, very varied what people are, what those who get called to this work are doing. Sometimes they don't even know. Some people are so deep undercover they don't even know. I'll just put it that way. And then some people, obviously you guys know this, you already know who you are, you're out, you're doing your work already, and it's just very varied. So just if something resonates for you, take it. If it doesn't, go ahead and back pocket it. If something is meant for you, it will find you, and that's all there is to it. All right. Is there anything else, guys? And the last thing they're saying is, they went like this. Oh, great. And then they said, go Hollywood. So that's where that is. Okay? All right. Anyway, if you would like to know more about that transmission, or you have questions about anything, you know exactly where to find me. My business card is so illuminated here we can't see it, but because of the sunlight, yay. But you can just connect with me on my Etsy channel, and feel free to select one of the intuitive counseling sessions. That's where we would chat live about it. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Thank you to those guides, and let's keep going. Anything else that wants to come through for those of our collective here? Huh. So some of you, they're saying some of you are kind of at this place where you don't exactly, like, you have options coming in for you. And I do get that some of these options are not physically manifest yet. So if you're good with working with non-physical energy, picking up on those signs, incoming energy and such, we've said this before on this channel, then you may be very positioned to make decisions before things manifest, and so therefore they may never even manifest in your life. Or you can negotiate better conditions from non-physical, so that when it does manifest in your life, aka you're tweaking it, tweaking the energies, so that when it does manifest in your life, you are closer to what it is that you would like to have made manifest than if you didn't, you just went into it blindly. They're saying there's a reason why people celebrate. They're saying that's the second time I'm seeing this word celebrate today. I feel like it's the third, but there's a reason reason why people celebrate, they're saying, when they get to certain heights. And that's because they know how much they had to climb in order to get there. Imagine you, super cute. There's a pathway, there's a pathway, there's a pathway. There are 3 cute little animals, and there's a whole bag of scrolls. There's a dove. Is that another thing? Some of the pathways are a little bit more shady than the others. Sometimes it's difficult to really navigate when you're on the ground, is what they're saying. So that's why when you do find yourself higher up, or they're so funny, they're like, when you do fancy yourself higher up, and I'm trying to understand what they mean by that reference, so I'm just going to leave that there for some of you. To mean whatever it needs to mean, but they're saying that there's a reason why we celebrate. But they're saying that no matter where we go anywhere, there's always going to be the reality that everything is internal. There's nothing external to us, which we know, right? And if you also understand, as we say on this channel all the time, that there's never ever been any separation, and that is that's the actual number one issue. That is the core misperception, existentially, all of us, right? And that's why we have been able to, at 11 minutes 11 seconds, that's why we've been able to, quote unquote, individuate from our creator. But the reality is we are, all of us, we never individuate. Where did we go? There's nowhere to go. You know, whether you want to put it in terms of biblical stuff like, oh, the Garden of Eden and this and that. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you eat, what you ingest, whatever. You didn't go anywhere. So if you didn't actually go anywhere, there's no casting off, there's no storming out, there's no being abandoned, there's none of that stuff. But if you look at the way that humanity functions, you will understand that humanity is just functioning as a monolithic epitome of abandonment issues and abandonment wounds. And you can understand that if there was never any separation, then there could never be abandonment. So you could see how the dream is. That's the falsity. And so they're saying that, remember that way up where it really matters, where everything is oneness and there's no misperception anymore, 12 minutes 12 seconds, then you realize that there's also no need for rescuing or saving or light workers or star seeds or any of these things, because there's no work. It's like a warrior who's needed when there are wars, but then in peacetime, what are you doing? Well, now they're all turning to becoming artists and all sorts of stuff because they're no longer needed. There's no, and then let a generation or two pass, and now what are they? No one remembers what it meant anymore. Right? And there's no way of, like the samurai. There's no way of the samurai anymore because, if you want to look at Japanese history, the samurai, when they were no longer needed, well, they were phased out, but anyway, that's political history. What did they start to become? More aristocrats, and they laid down the swords for the arts and for calligraphy and all sorts of other stuff. Right? So you have to understand that whenever we're here, wherever we are, whether we're down here or we're up there, whatever they're saying, you always want to maintain the truth. And the truth is the reality that we are all one. And so at some point, there's always something that lays beyond duality, right? This is duality down here, down and up. But somewhere we remember, oh, we're all one, we're oneness. So that's it. It's like the teacher is telling us, right? That's it. So anyway, I'm going to end this here, but to make sure it fits on Instagram, a 15-minute limit here. But what I do want to leave you guys with is, where do you find yourself moving throughout the day? Are you steeped in duality? He said, she said, this, that, and warfare, anger, emotions, all of this? Or are you more peaceful? Are you chill? Just because you're feeling at peace and you're chill doesn't actually mean that, energetically speaking, there is existential tranquility. Come find us. We will help you find these things if you want to delve. But my point is, we should be moving in a certain direction, just like this guy. Moving in a certain direction. That moving, could take time, but it's towards recognizing the oneness that is reality. Okay, so it's very interesting how they started out the reading talking about the light workers and star seeds messages and special ops, because that's what's going on right now. But even they have to remember that they're doing it all in the name of oneness. I hope that makes sense. All right, bye.